Welcome back. This is Let's Play the Kerbal Space Program. Okay, let's go here to the Vehicle Assembly Building. Alright, so what had happened last time, I successfully took a space plane into orbit. We orbited the planet a couple times, came back down, and successfully landed back at Kerbal Space Center. I want to use what I learned there. I'm going to redesign my space plane. Okay, here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that my very first attempt at landing this thing after an orbit was successful. I'm thinking that having 2 of these fuel tanks, excessive. I don't need all that much fuel. There are other features in here that I am going to need. I already know I'm going to need an advanced SAS module. Let's put that on there. These will be in place of that that fuel tank that we took away. You may see some different parts in here. I'm using the Nova Punch package of parts here. It combines some of Sunday Punch's parts with Nova Salisco's parts. They're all modded parts, with the goal being to change the values for all these so that, you know, the thrust values, the weight values, everything else, so that they'll all work together, that they'll agree with each other. Here we go. I know I'm going to... Yeah, this is an RCS tank for reaction control system, RCS thrusters. I know I'm eventually going to need those. So I'll just put them on my space plane now. And 1 fuel tank. 1 aircraft fuel tank. Okay. Yeah, Nova Punch plus C7's wings, of course. All this aviation stuff. Here's my standard Delta configuration wings. Put on by symmetry here. Put those things pretty far back. About there. Tell you what, while I'm thinking of it, and my airplane engine, my spaceplane engine, rocket engine, make certain that those wings aren't too... Well, actually, first I need to do this. Okay, control surfaces. Important thing to remember about the control surfaces. Here are these ailerons. If I have my 2-way symmetry turned on, and if I put a couple of control surfaces on, these will act as ailerons. Whenever I roll, one will go up and the other one will go down. If I have do not have the symmetry turned on, just one, then they will work as elevators. They will both move in the same direction. I want these to work as ailerons. Actually, you look at the way the game runs it, these will be elevons. They're both ailerons and elevators. They'll move in both directions. Okay, let's make certain that that isn't too far back, where it's going to interfere when I put other stuff on here. Where did my standard coupler go? Yeah, here we go. See if I put just a regular... Yeah, I can attach parts to that. That's good. Okay, wings, ailerons. We need a tail fin, vertical stabilizer. It's in here somewhere, right? There we go. Turn that symmetry off, because I just want one. Put it back about that far. Okay, now, and another change. See, I knew that the cockpit of this thing actually has yaw forces. It has, well, forces. It affects all roll, pitch, yaw, all 3 axes. I think it has like strong gyroscopes in there. So I was thinking that I may not actually need a rudder. But a couple of those experiences with the thing tumbling out of control convinced me that just maybe having a rudder would be a good idea. I think it'd be worth the weight penalty. I mean, how much does that thing weigh? It weighs 0.01, weighs as little as you can possibly get something in this game, I think. Okay, so there's a couple of changes already. And, while I'm thinking of it, let's put some wheels on here. Line that up in the middle, put it as far forward as it'll go. And this one over here, let's line that back edge up along the edge of the wing until it just barely peeks out of the front. And do the same here. Okay, we have some wheels. Okay, now there is my basic space plane, Plane 1, so it was named, just with a couple of extra pieces on here, the SAS and the RCS tank. Here's another thing that I want to do, because I know I'm going to need these thrusters. Hey, we've got more here. Actually, see, I just put the latest Nova Punch pack in. I haven't even seen some of these parts in here before. I think I'm going to go with... I wonder what the difference is. What's the difference between the Yawmaster RCS thrusters and just the stock RCS thrusters? They have the same numbers here, except for cost, but that doesn't even matter in the game right now. We're going to go with the stock RCS thrusters, and I'll research that other thing later. Okay, here we go. This will help us maneuver around in space and also high altitude, where I'm getting ranges where the ailerons, rudder, and elevator and everything aren't working so well. Let's put one right at the tip of the tail there. Get lots of force that direction. Actually, kind of forward here. Actually, let's move this whole tail fin forward a little bit. That looks better. And move this thing up to the forward tip of it. That's good, because I want this one to be in line with it. Yeah, that'll work. Oh, you know what's something fairly major that I was totally forgetting about here? Okay, here we go. Our controllable canards. There. That looks about right. And see, I want these to act as elevators and not as ailerons, so I do not turn the symmetry on for these. Yeah, I can already see it's not perfectly symmetrical. Okay, am I forgetting anything? I got my RCS thrusters, I got my SAS, fuel, engine, wheels, elevators, ailerons, rudder. Okay. Yeah, same basic configuration, but I think it's different enough. This one, our provisional name for it, this is Plane 02. And let's save it. Get my joystick over here. Oh, my joystick came unplugged. Hang on! Technical difficulties. There we go. Went to grab the thing and it just unplugged it. Alright, we got the right profile loaded. Yeah. Okay, now let's launch this thing and see how well it flies. It'll launch it in a hurry. It was starting to tip backwards. Okay, ooh, whoa, okay, turn on that precision mode there. Ooh, okay. I can tell it's been a few days since I played this. I have to remind myself how very, very twitchy it is. And yeah, the thing is, see, there's two parts that I added in place of that fuel tank are shorter, so the vehicle itself is shorter now. I should have paid more attention to the weight. Okay, if it's shorter, it's going to be a little bit more unstable. But we're still controllable. Like this. Like this. Okay. Let me try something. What happens if I point it this direction I turn the SAS on, and hey, look, it's like a poor man's trim, sort of like a cross between a trim and an autopilot. I turn that SAS on, and it will try to keep the nose pointed in the same direction. Excellent, so I don't have to keep one hand on the stick at all times anymore. So that's definitely an improvement. Let's see if this thing will land. Throttle back. Yeah, this is, I can already tell it's twitchier. Much, much more sensitive on the controls than the earlier design. It's not wanting to fly perfectly straight here. Not yet. I've got some cheating which I need to do later to go into the craft file, and I'm going to manually edit a whole bunch of the values, the positions of these pieces to make it everything perfectly symmetrical. Because as I'm gliding, this thing keeps wanting to pull slightly to the left. That's not so great. Okay, it glides pretty much like the original design did. Very, very similar. Which means it'll probably want to continue to float on landing and be difficult to set down. Floating, floating, floating. Careful, careful, easy. Making the smallest possible control movements on the joystick. Oh! I want to try it again. Relaunch. I wasn't expecting that. Okay, what made the difference? Oh, it's such a horrible tragedy. You shouldn't laugh at that. But, you know, they're Kerbals. They're not people. All right. Why did that thing explode like that? I had another... See, that the previous time that I had what looked like a great landing and it exploded, I figured that what happened was I was trying to land at time compression. That wasn't the issue here. Was I just going too fast? I was trying to put it down, but the airplane was not ready to land yet. Maybe I really need to fix the symmetry first. Maybe I was a little bit crosswise in landing. Okay, let's slow it down. Slow down. Here's 45 meters per second. 40. Here's down to 32. 30. Damn it! What the hell? Oh my god! Okay, let me see here. What's the first thing that happened in our outcome here? Flight events. RCS fuel tank collided with gear C. Let's go back to that vehicle assembly building. Gear C collided with the tank back here. That's interesting. What can I change about this? This is very surprising to me that this isn't working, because the basic configuration is so very, very similar to the first one. pitching back enough? Maybe it's a CG issue? Do I have my center of gravity too far forward? What is the weight of all these parts here? See, this thing, total mass 0.9. So the previous design had 1.8 mass, 1.8 Kerbal units, mass units, whatever those would be. This is a 0.1. That's significantly lighter. And a 0.9, so 1. So those together, well, actually, no, that's about the same weight as this fuel tank. Very, very close. Slightly smaller, slightly lighter. I am puzzled. What can I do different here? See, this gear is as far forward as it'll go, right? Yeah, it is. Maybe I'm just not setting it down gentle enough. I'm getting too sloppy with my landing. Let me try it again here. By the way, these don't count as official launches for the Moonshot program, as this is just in-atmosphere testing of the re-entry vehicle here. I can't wait till eventually in the game we'll have, say, getting the friction, the heat of re-entry, which actually the heat comes more from the high compression, the shock wave, than it does from friction, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah, they'll have that modeled, and also have G-forces modeled so that your rockets, you have to keep G-forces in mind. The game is far, far from done. Okay. Yeah, we're definitely being twitchy. Okay, let's try this here. Let's be as gentle as I can possibly be. Let's see how slowly can I possibly set this thing down. So there's 50 meters per second. We're flaring. There's 40 meters per second. There's 30 meters per second. 25. Can I get it down to 20? Can I get it down to 20? $22. Okay. Okay, I didn't get it quite down to 20, but landing at 22. So, let's just say, for future reference here, that I need to remember to land this thing at 25 meters per second or less. That's the goal. Let's try that again. Our takeoff roll. Whoops, I almost forgot for a second here. I was trying to, that I have got the weird control setup. You have to put roll on the twist grip of the stick. And wow, this thing is actually not wanting to move my camera around either. Is that why? Let's try that again. There's 50. I'm having to yaw slightly back and forth. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to make a pass, go manually edit that file, make it symmetrical. I will not edit the values of the parts themselves for like less weight or more thrust. It's very, very easy to cheat in this game, but I'm just not going to do it. But I will edit this airplane to make it symmetrical. Okay, there's below 30. Yeah, I think those first couple landings I just landed way too fast. 27. And almost a 20. There's 25. Set down. Yep. Okay. Okay. Yeah, we'll say that my target landing speed here, that my landing speed I need to aim for between 25 and 30 meters per second. I'll remember that. Okay. There was a success. All right, I'm going to pause it now, and I'm going to go and manually edit this thing, make it perfectly symmetrical. We'll be back, and we'll continue on with this.